Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. Here we will mainly talk about makeup, beauty and lifestyle. So if you're interested, please subscribe down below and join the family. And without further talking, I will jump right into the video. So today I thought I will go and rank all of my Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. So all in all, I missed some palettes. I also don't have the Norvina palettes. I tell you why, like the reason I feel like last year was crazy. I think last year Anastasia Beverly Hills kind of bombarded us with palettes and I kind of felt like it was too much for me, and I'm not really vibing with the Norvina palettes. I don't know how about you, but for me those huge palettes, they have no use. I can't travel with them. I don't know really how to store them. I'm also not really like someone who wants 5 million shades in order to make an eye look. Like I want my, I don't know, 12 shades are enough and then I can do an eye look, and I can also have variety. I don't need like 40 shades in a palette. That's just not me. That's a personal preference. And the color schemes were also not my thing, besides of the last one. The last one was really cute, but as I said, like it's too huge. And then I'm also missing out some Anastasia palettes. The first one I don't have is the Prism palette. This is just the reason because I never liked the color scheme at all. It was kind of too grungy for me and I didn't like the neon thing. I don't know, I was never like drawn to this palette, so I didn't want to spend my money on it. Logically. And then there was also like, I think the Subculture palette. This one is actually, I thought, like when it was released, I thought the color scheme is cute, but when I saw the releases I was like, I don't buy it, because everybody was saying it's a really not a good palette and the quality is not good and not comparable to Modern Renaissance, so I never got it. And I never felt the need to buy it afterwards to test it to myself, because I have similar palettes and like I don't need every Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. The next thing I don't have, I think, is the first Amrezy palette, because I was back then not in the game. I think I was not in the game. And then the next thing I also don't have is the Makeup by Mario, or Mario palette, Master palette. This is a beautiful palette. I would have gotten it if I had the chance to, but back then I think I didn't realize it really. Like I don't know what was going on with me, but I didn't get it. And also what I didn't have is the Alicia Edwards palette, and the reason is it's really absolutely not my color scheme. This was like so bright, and I heard it's a really good palette, like don't get me wrong, but it's just I knew this is nothing I get a lot of use out, and I'm not here spending a lot of money on a palette I'm not using just to have it in my collection. Like I'm over this kind of trend I have. Like I know I used to collect eyeshadow palettes, but it had to stop. So I have then all in all 8 palettes we can talk about, and of course I will first tell you my least favorite and I will then start to my favorite palette. So I will not talk anymore, show you the palettes and let's go. So my first palette I want to talk about is the Rivera palette. And guys, don't get me wrong, I love this palette. I really love it for summer. I think you get really the perfect mix between colorful and neutral. Also this shade unfortunately came broken. I ordered this palette from Cult Beauty. Normally their palettes are really well packed, but this shade became broken and I had to press it in. Unfortunately, this is the most beautiful shade. I love the shade. It's called Mediterranean. It's this yummy blue. It's like beautiful. It's not from this world. Like wait, let me show you. Like it's this blue with this reflectiveness. Like this blue is so beautiful. This is like my favorite shade in the whole palette, I think. And listen, I got a lot of cute looks, but when I think about how often I use it, and the last time I used it, this is like a really long time ago, so after like a few times using it, it kind of went into the drawer and never got out again. This is why it's kind of like on my last place. However, this is still a beautiful palette, and if you love it, I understand, it's cute. The next palette is probably a huge shock for everyone, but I never really used it that much, and it's the Modern Renaissance palette. And guys, it's not even my first Anastasia palette. My first Anastasia palette, I think, was the soft glam one. And also, listen, the color scheme is really cute, but it's nothing I think is that special. I also think Anastasia had a good formulation, like the formula was good there, but I think she improved for recent palettes recently, especially for recently released palettes. For me, this is like an autumn palette. I don't really use this in summer or spring, maybe in winter. It's just nothing that is like inspiring me that much. As you see, the colors are either on the reddish, more darker side, or on the neutral side. Now, I understand why this was a big thing back then, because no other company released a palette like that. But nowadays we find like millions of these palettes, so it's not that special anymore. But back then I really loved it still, because I could create so many good neutral looks, so that's why it's on the 7th place. The next one I have is the Sultry palette. Now, this is one of the most beautiful packaging. I think for me, this and the Amrezy palette has the most beautiful packaging of all the time. Now, this is like a cool tone palette, and it has a little pop of coral to pop it a little bit up. You can make beautiful cool tone looks with this. The shimmers in this palette are amazing. However, it's, how should I say, like, I like my cool tone looks, but I don't use them on a daily basis. Like, it's like, also this palette is for me intense because of the shimmers. Like, I always get like extreme looks. However, I really like this little pop of color here. I think it's a well-made palette. It's my favorite cool tone palette, don't get me wrong. If I want a cool smoky eye, I get this palette. It's just also not something I use on an everyday. That's the thing, it is on a lower place, but it's still a good palette and I would recommend it to everyone. And the packaging is so pretty, it's amazing. Now, the next palette is the Amrezy palette, and guys, the packaging, when I saw this released and I saw the packaging, I was like, wow, it's so pretty. And I love Amrezy, don't get me wrong, I really like her, even though she ranted really crazily once, but I don't mind. Like, I follow her still on Instagram. Now, guys, this palette is beautiful, but the only thing that I really love about this palette are those 4 shades in the front, because that are like the most beautiful pinks, especially Barb. I have never seen an eyeshadow shade so beautiful. Wait, let me swatch it. It's this one, and I don't even know if you can see it on camera that much. This Barb shade, this is like so reflective. This makes your eyes look wet. This is such a beautiful shade, but other than that, there's nothing like special about this palette. I don't really get use of those really dark shades. I don't really need this pop of blue. Once again, it's not really mine. I like the purpley shades, but those 2 shades I don't get at all, because for me they look the same. Like, they are really unnecessary, and they made this palette a little bit bigger, which I think is unnecessary too, because as I said, like, those 2 shades are nearly the same. Why you put it in? Or just get rid of one of those darker shades, or get rid of that pop of blue, because we don't really need it anymore. And we have our old-fashioned Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. As you see, I didn't really use it much. I just used it for the 4 shades in the front, which are amazing, but that's the reason why it didn't got any further up. I like the glitters. I don't care about the pressed glitters, this is not a problem, but however, it's not something I'm crazy about and I have to use every day. That's why it is ranked on the 5th place, and I'm sorry. The next one, guys, is the soft glam palette, and this was my first Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. Who would have known? And for me, this is like the perfect neutral palette. This is such a good palette. back then I loved this palette. I still use it from time to time. I mean, I have 1 million neutral eyeshadow palettes, like I'm crazy, but still. However, some shimmers here I think are somewhat lackluster. One example is like Glisten and Fairy. Not the best, but still okay. Maybe those two shades could have been more intense for my taste, or a little bit more sparkly or metallic, because I think they're not really that good. I don't know why. And I also think they're really similar to each other. All in all, it's still a wonderful palette, and I would never ever give this away, because this is like one of the best neutral palettes I own. One of my first Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. And then the next one will surprise a lot of people, but I love this palette, and this is the Bybel palette. And I tell you guys, I know, wait, there's still the brushing. I put it out because I know this kind of color scheme doesn't interest a lot of people, but for me, who is pale, I love this. Like this, first of all, this palette tells me Bybel. Like, I can totally see her. And then I know that people don't like this red thing because they say it's like ketchup, but for me, on my blue eyes with the red, this looks amazing. And the rest is like, I get such a good neutral, like really neutral look out of this. The colors are so soft and I love this. And the shimmers, they're making the look then unique. Like, you get a really cute neutral look if you want to, and then you can add like this shade Mandala or Chode or like Aura, and it makes the look different, and it makes the look pretty, and it makes the look unique. And this is really a good palette, and I don't know why people don't like it. Probably because the colors show better off on pale skin than on deeper skin tones, I guess. So maybe that makes like deeper skin tones ashy. However, for me, that's such a good palette, and I love it. I love it a lot. I'm happy I got this because I heard not so many people talking good about it. It's really good. The next palette I have, it's now the second place, is the Checky Aina palette. Girls, I didn't want to buy this in the beginning because I thought it's too deep for me, but this is like next level. Like I don't know what Anastasia did, but this palette has such a good formulation. Like the glittery shade, like this one down here, Tam, and then there's another shade I really love but I don't see right now. Like this shade Sam right here is so beautiful, guys. Like this is like a dream. I have to show you. This palette is especially, I loved it in fall. Like it has purple, it has pink, it has darker shades, it has like my neutral brownish shade. I can, like, if I go in lightly, I get still my neutral look. The quality of this palette is really, it's the best. I think the quality wise, this is the best palette. Like color wise, it's not my favorite, but it is already the second place, which means I really like it. And I think it's really one of the best releases Anastasia ever had. I think this palette is so good, and Checky Aina did such a good job, and I really love this palette. You get so many different looks. I love also those reddish looks I get with Wiggly's, I don't know if I say that right, and Pinker. And I love this shade Edges. This is such a beautiful orange. Like this palette is so pretty, beautiful. Also the shade Dollars is pretty. It is like this golden greenish shade. It's this shade here. Beautiful. Like this is such a beautiful palette. I enjoyed working with it so much. I was so inspired by this palette, and I would never let it go. And then the winner, who would have thought, is the Norvina palette. And guys, I know I said it quite often that I love neutrals, I love pink, and I love purples, and this palette is so perfect for me. The shimmers in this are so good, and this shade Summer here is a dream. It's called Summer, and it's so good. When I came to Hong Kong with not a lot of makeup, this was the only palette I brought, and I used it so much and I enjoyed it so much. And this is just, it gives you so much choices if you're a neutral lover but you sometimes want a little bit of color but not extreme color, and you just need a little bit of pink or purple. This is so good. There are some shades which are not the best, not so pigmented, like Wild Child is not not that good, but the rest is like rose gold, beautiful shimmer. I love this. Summer, as I said, creamer is beautiful for your under your eyebrow. Then you have this base shade. This is like perfect for me just to build a normal base. That's why it's called base. And then as you see, you have your neutrals here. You have like pink here. You have like your purple here. You have this soul shade. Not a lot of people like this shade, but I really like it actually. Yeah, you have drama here, which is like a more darkish purple. All in all, this is like my all-time favorite palette. I made so many looks with this. I use this so often. I think this is really the best Anastasia Beverly Hills palette for me. Perfectly made. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. That's it. That's today's video. If you want to, please subscribe down below. Leave me a comment. What is your favorite Anastasia palette? What is your least favorite Anastasia Beverly Hills palette? And I hope to see you soon in the next video of mine. And bye bye. Thank you so much.